Hey everybody, Wesley Cooper here. Today I'm going to be talking about gear and equipment that you'll need for the State Guard, State Defense Force. For me personally, I went into the Army side, and so everything is OCP, although the Air Force now switched over to OCP, so this would work there as well. Also compatible is Coyote. If you get things in Coyote color, that's also accepted. So with that, let's get started. Assault pack, or also known as a 3-day pack, 72-hour pack. This is what you'll want. There's a lot of cheap backpacks out there that you can get. I recommend spending the money and getting one that's government issue with an NSN number on it. And you know, they are a little more pricey, but you don't want shit breaking out on you when you're out in the field. It's not fun, it's not pleasant. I've had it happen to me, I've seen it happen to other people. And you're trying to use 100-mile-an-hour tape, duct tape, zip ties, and trying to put their shit back together for them. And it just takes up time, and you look like an idiot. This is a really good 3-day pack, and it's done me a lot of good service over the years, and it's held up 100%. Haven't had any issues with it. The next thing you'll want to get is a hydration bladder. I recommend the Camelback. This one I've had personally for 6 years. I put it through a lot of abuse. I even use it on hiking with my dogs or going hunting. So this thing's seen a lot of miles, and I haven't had one problem with it. You can spend a little more money on them. They have a pouch on here on the back, an additional pouch. I wish I would have spent the little extra money to have that. You can put your mountain money, also known as toilet paper, in there, in a Ziploc baggie. You could also put some snacks in those pouches, a couple of chem lights, and whatever else you may need for however long you're going to be out, whether it's an overnight hike or you're going out on a 3-day mission, 7-day mission out into the field. You'll want something good. Trick with these guys is you can bite on this and blow air into it, and with that air compression in there, this thing will work like a squirt nozzle. So you can take a quick bath with it, wash off your hands, wash off any other gear you need to wash off, what have you. Really handy. You'll want a good ziti bag, shaving kit, okay? You could also use a Ziploc baggie and put your essentials in there and just throw it into a pouch on your 3-day bag. If you're going to get out into wet weather, highly recommend you getting a poncho and a whoopee, poncho liner, but we call these things whoopies. And I'll tell you what, these things are so comfy. They compress up into nothing. I can stuff it in my 3-day bag, and I'll use that for my sleep system during warm weather. That's really all I need. It's also handy if you're going on a mission where you're going to be on base and you're going to be staying in barracks. You can wrap your mattress with these instead of sleeping on the plastic. You know, these things are really comfy. Moving on to your 5-day pack, you can get an Alice pack like this. You can get a duffel bag and make a duffel bag work, but I highly recommend getting something that's framed. There's newer ones out there where the sleep system is built in versus being a separate pouch. I highly recommend getting that. And again, that's a good 5-day pouch or 5-day pack where you're going to be out in the field for an extended amount of time. You can get a lot more gear in there. When you do that and you're going out, don't forget, a lot of things are interchangeable. So you know, my 3-day stuff will go into this bag, and then I'll just add extra socks, extra underwear, extra shirts. You know, I'll Ranger roll them all and put them into a Ziploc baggie and stuff them in there instead of a wet bag, kind of like that right there, and compress it down. But you don't want to forget to take your assault pack, your hydration, because when you're out there in the field, you're not going to want to be humping this one around when you're going out on field exercises or pulling a mission, doing OPFOR or what have you. You'll want to have your assault pack with you, so don't forget to take it, okay? So these things all go hand in hand if you're going out for 5 days or more. With a good sleep pad, I use a self-inflating mattress myself versus using that anymore. Either way, you'll want something, even if you're sleeping on cots. Definitely, if you're going to be sleeping on the ground, you want those. But if you're sleeping on cots inside on a drill floor, or you have access to your own cot that you're taking with you to put in your tent, if you're bivouacking, you'll want a good sleeping pad to sleep on, because those cots get kind of old sleeping on them after a while. This is a bigger deployment bag, and this is handy if you're going to be going and staying in the barracks or a hotel, or maybe you're staying in an armory and you'll be sleeping on the drill floor, and you know that you're not going to be going out into the field that much. This thing has rollers on it, so you can roll it around with a handle. It carries a lot of gear. You can put your sleeping system in there, your plate carrier in there, your salt pack, your hydration, and it fits pretty much everything you need. And that's really handy. Again, if you're going to be staying in an armory or in the barracks on base, right? That's pretty handy to take. Sleeping system, I recommend getting a new or used 3-stage sleeping system. It comes with a compression sack. You'll get your bivy sack that goes along with it, lightweight bag, and then a heavyweight bag. This lightweight bag is really all I've ever needed in combination with my poncho liner. And sometimes if it's wet weather, you may need to use your sack, but really this thing is compressible to really small, doesn't take up a lot of space, and I can fit it even in my 3-day pack along with my Woobie. Usually I'll pick between one or the two if it's going in my 3-day pack, but if I'm going out for 5 days or more, I'll definitely take this lightweight bag. It's usually all I need for the weather we have where I'm at. But when you do get into colder weather, it is nice to have this heavier bag. Moving on to your battle, and we're talking your combat helmet, your Kevlar, and your plate carrier. I got mine on Fort Bragg Surplus, and I also got my liner, multicam or OCP liner. And you also want to get a good helmet band that goes with it, with cat's eyes on the back. These are reflectable, so when you're out at night marching around, headlights, these will reflect on them. You don't get yourself ran over, because it's hard to see people who will camouflage in the dark, right? Plate carrier, load bearing vest. You're going to need these if you're going to be working ranges. I work ranges all the time, with whether it's Sec 4 or working with infantry support, pulling range missions. You got to have a plate carrier, and you got to have plates, right? I use AR-600s in my plate carrier, or AR-500s. They're a steel plate, they're really heavy. If you have the money, I recommend getting ceramic plates. It's a lot lighter, it's easier on the back, especially if you're older like me and get back problems and whatnot. I'll tell you what, carrying steel plates, full mags, your weapon, your 24-hour or your 3-day pack, assault pack on it, and your hydration, plus your Kevlar helmet, it's a lot of weight, man. And when you're humping in that all day, it takes a toll on you. So if you can get the ceramic plates, I recommend that. Plate carriers, you can spend a lot of money on these. I got a Condor, I spent about 65 bucks on this, and it's held up all this time. I haven't had any problems with it. Yeah, it doesn't look as high speed as a nice 511, but I didn't really need to spend a lot of money on that. But I wouldn't get anything less than a Condor or like a Voodoo Tactile pack. Those hold up pretty well. You'll want at least 3 mag pouches. We carry 30-round magazines for the M4s. Also, if you're going to be using pistols, it's handy to have a couple of extra pistol mags. Radio pouch. Being in the State Guard or State Defense Forces, you know you got to buy all your own gear. You don't get issued stuff. If you get SINGAR's radios and the Humvees and you're rolling out, a lot of times those things, you know, they don't end up working, and humping them around or other packable radio systems get pretty heavy. So if you're doing stuff like what we do, a lot of us get these Baofengs, and they're programmable, they're very cheap, and they hold up, they hold good battery life. Highly recommend these Baofeng radios, and a nice little radio pouch to go with it and retain it. You'll want an IFAK. Your IFAK goes on the left side of your kit. With my IFAK, I've got my individual first aid kit here all loaded up. I got my cat tourniquet here. This is all for self-care. I'll be doing another video talking about TCCC, Tactical Casualty Combat Care, what that's all about. Also CLS, I got a CLS bag right here. When you get in and you get into your unit, I recommend requesting to go to a CLS class or getting into a TCCC class. It's really good information. I was a firefighter EMT for about 10 years, and going through that CLS class, I learned quite a bit. So anyway, this goes on your left side of your kit. You want to keep your right side clear and free of anything, because that's your weapon side, unless you're left-handed, and obviously that'll switch. You can get little pouches or a pouch on the back to put your hydration bladder in. You can have separate hydration, which would be handy. Have the money, I recommend getting that, and it's already there built in. But for me personally, I just take my CamelBak and I smash it into this guy. It holds it, and I got hydration, whether it's on me solo, where I'm using my hydration in combination with my 72-hour pack. I'm using my hydration just on my kit. You know, it's nice to have that flexibility with that CamelBak. You just move it around as needed. Before you go out and start buying a lot of gear, if you're just getting into a State Guard or State Defense Force, I recommend getting in first and talking with the guys. A lot of people buy stuff and they upgrade through the years to get better quality stuff, and they'll be giving away their older stuff, or they may sell it for dirt cheap. So get in and ask your squad leader, ask your platoon sergeant or senior NCO, and they'll probably get you squared away with equipment that you need. They'll know people that maybe have stuff. And so, yeah, before you start buying a plate carrier, I would ask around first, see if anybody has any older ones that they're giving up for a good price. Because you'll spend a lot of money when you start getting all this gear purchased yourself. And you don't need it all at once, okay? Just get what you need to start, figure out what your unit is doing on a regular basis, and get the gear when you need it, versus trying to bankrupt yourself right from the start. I hope this helps. I'm going to be going over and doing another video on packing lists and what your packing list looks like for your 3-day, what a 5-day packing list looks like, what your overall loadout looks like. And so stay tuned for another video going over all of that. And again, I'll be doing another video on TCCC and another video on CLS moving forward. So please subscribe if you like. Help me out. I'm trying to grow this channel to help others out. I answer questions quite a bit. I'm pretty responsive. If people have questions on this stuff, hit me up and I'll get back to you. If I don't know the answer, I'll find it for you, okay? And with that, again, please subscribe, like, and I'll talk to you guys later. Take care.